doesn't need them.
And I've given them as presents to a couple of people, and I have my own. But I somehow really have a problem with maybe it's my memory that's so bad or something, but the oracles for me are like, schmuck, this is what I'm talking about. And the other, it always seems so, I can't put a handle on it. I think it's because I just haven't worked with them enough. I just haven't really put the time in, which is what it takes to really get a feel of it. I think it means this, but I'm not sure, does it,
Yes, our books make it really easy.
Yes, we're the
No,
DIY oracles.
No, but I mean, as far as, turning the card over and say, oh yeah, it's like, okay, I got to read, it's like, with the oracles, I do that and I say, oh, that again, whatever that is.
Well, I think, practice. You have to practice.
I got to do it, yeah.
It's like anything. It's like exercise,
Exactly, yeah.
We're one of the things we're working on is we're working on a book called Concept of Metaphysical Fitness. That'll be down the pipeline probably about 5 years. We have a deep drawer in our house with a lot of ideas that we have, and then we put them away or we get them done.
Well, we're going to do readings about some of your guys' ideas.
Yeah.
If you have any projects or...
I know we're up to 2 screens, so I don't know who's on the other screen. We're going to go.
What time is it?
It's about time to start.
Okay.
Oh,
we'll
good.
leave it to Jeffrey.
I didn't even realize that we hadn't started.
No. Well, we're
where are you?
Start. So when we formally start, we're going to mute everybody.
Wow.
And we'll welcome and we'll start the show, and then the questions will come via the chat. That way we just don't have it's just the format. But Lauren, are you ready to start?
Dana's here. Hi, Dana.
Okay, go back to Jeff.
Sorry.
Yes.
Yes, I'm ready to mute everybody, and then you can do your official start.
Okay.
Okay,
All
so
right.
everybody's going to get muted, and I'm actually going to take away the ability to unmute. If the oracles have a question for you while they're answering your question, I will find you and unmute you at that point. Thanks, everybody.
Now, we should turn on the chat thing, or you're just going to read the questions to us?
You could turn it on, but I'll read them to you, whatever you find better. It's your
Well,
choice.
I would rather see everybody on the screen, as many as possible.
Good,
We're up
so
to
then-
two screens now, I see.
Yes, so I will read them to you.
Okay, great.
No problem.
Okay.
I like that.
I know, from Ray.
That was great.
Hi, it's Jeff Pulver together with Amy Zerner and Monty Faber, and we're here with Ask the Oracles. I'd like to welcome all of you to our show. And during the day, we encourage you to ask questions in the chat. You have an opportunity to ask anything you want, but please, no politics, no health. And if you're asking something which is time-based, please be specific about the time. So, Monty, Amy, how are you doing? And welcome.
We're good. We're here in East Hampton. It's a beautiful day, and we love doing this to see everybody because basically we only see each other and our cat.
And we put up this real Amy Zerner tapestry, one of her larger ones, in the background.
The oracles that I create are all done with mixed media fabric collage, and this is one of my larger tapestries based on the island of Atlantis and the myth of Atlantis. And I made Monty's shirt too.
Yes, you did.
But
Wow.
we're here to talk about being an oracle. I mean, Jeff, I loved talking to you last week, and we're kind of going to continue to introduce ourselves to some people that might not know what we do. We write books about tarot and astrology and ways to tap your intuition and to tap into your creativity, and that's what we want to do when we answer your questions.
You know, years ago, the ancients had a concept of the Akashic field. And today, scientists call it the quantum field, the Akashic record and the quantum field, excuse me. And so there's no accidents in the sense that everybody who's here, who's watching this, not only are you interested in what's going on, you are an oracle, obviously, and we understand that. So the whole purpose here is to raise the consciousness of each one of us, which will raise the consciousness of the quantum field.
And to put us in the moment, because when you ask an oracle a question, whether it's the tarot or whether you're asking us, it's a mindful experience. It's like what's going on right now, to read the energy and to have a new perspective. Jeff, I know you have your own technique of tuning in,
Yes,
which
I
we
do.
were sharing. We were reading for Jeff and he was reading for us yesterday because we're old friends, and everyone's got a few friends that they kind of depend on when they need some clarity on a question, right?
It's all in the hat. You have to have
Yeah.
a hat to be an oracle, or
Wait, is my hair a hat?
purple hat. Purple hair works as a hat. No, just kidding. Oh, I love that. Nice, Marsh. I saw that. Everyone gets their hats. Got to have a hat on, as they say in
So
Boston,
just
right?
for people who are not familiar with the work that you've done, maybe Amy, Monty, could you just talk a little bit about your
Sure.
Oracle awakening, like how I clearly
Sure.
we could spend the entire next 90 minutes talking about your awakening, but something which gave you faith to pursue this and become who you are.
We've always, well, I say this all the time. I say it too much. When I met Amy, she was studying astrology. I was studying Amy. Yeah, really. I say it all the time, but I like it.
I like it too.
Oh, okay, good.
Ah.
So I learned astrology. I used to think it was crap. Will has his hat on. Ray has her hat on. Just kidding. You don't necessarily need a hat, but hats are good. But
That was back in 1974.
74, yes, it's true. When look at Mark's hat.
Good one.
Patriot. So I invented karma cards, which is, it doesn't have the word astrology in it, has it in the subtitle, and it was to teach people how to do astrology while at the same time they learn astrology, they'd be answering questions about the future, and it hit. And it's one of the few things we've done where it was accepted the first time we tried to sell it. And
But I think the way we work is very spontaneous and intuitive. The way I make art, I don't really sketch out anything before I make it.
yeah, she didn't sketch this, believe it or not. She just did it.
Which is really allowing the creative flow to come through. And that's what using an oracle or being an oracle is all about. It's kind of, you have to trust, you have to be able to read the signs and symbols and kind of allow, well, your ego steps aside. And to me, that it's a great feeling to see what comes through. It's a great adventure. And I like when you ask a question and I pick a card, it's always right. Sometimes we need to practice how to best read it. And there is a tradition to the tarot, for instance, as there is a tradition to studying astrology, but we've added our own twists and our own creativity to those studies.
I mean, life is a bungee jump, basically. and so we're all doing our own bungee jump, and
we're all particularly connected now. I mean, during the pandemic, I find we have more quiet time and more time to ponder things and to see where we've come from and maybe where we want to go next. But there is sort of a beautiful connection because the whole world is going through this. And I can't remember in my lifetime another moment where we're all worldwide connected with one issue.
There were times when people would say the world was connected, but this is actually the first time, which is, unfortunately, so many people have died, but there are good things coming out of the pandemic, and that's one of them, is everybody's having to face life, death, and the fact that we're all one family, one tribe. The whole astrological Pluto, Saturn, Jupiter mashup in Capricorn, I've realized that Capricorn has to do with tribalism because it's the opposite sign of Cancer. The sign of Cancer in astrology is the family, the home, the mother, or someone who nurtures everyone. So the opposite sign is a different kind of family, the family that happens outside of your home. So while Capricorn does rule business, but to me, it also rules the business family. Like when I used to work in the film business, it really felt like a family. And then all of a sudden the movie's over and everybody leaves. The family breaks up. So whereas in the Cancer is a water sign, so you have the emotion of the family. Capricorn on the other side is an earth sign. So it's just like, well, okay, we got together for this purpose. The tribe has got together to support each other. The movie, the reason is over, we leave. It's like the Mayans leaving the Mayan areas.
But with all the communications now, and this is your expertise, Jeff, I mean, there are ways to access very specific tribes, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
for sure.
Very
it's
specific,
kind of amazing.
I do believe one of the positive effects of this is community, that we've all started to appreciate the tribes, and we were able to connect in a meaningful way and feel it.
Yeah.
And and do it in a way that we recognize each other, and it's in real time, and it's in the flow. I just to go back 1 second to the creative process and to your
Sure.
rise into Oracle status. I think part of it is to embrace your, at least for me, for creativity, it's to embrace your flow and not to be afraid, and to just let it go, and just when you're in a flow state, not to be afraid of either what is said or what is created. And
that takes practice and vigilance, right? But
yes.
So when I met Amy in '74, that was one of the things that impressed me the most, is watching her create art, because she was fearless. And I've never seen her ever have a writer's block, or whatever the artist equivalent of that.
I'm just scared of other things. But
Right. So everybody's afraid of something, but to watch creativity and without fear, it inspired me, and it enabled me to peel off the layers of whatever was stopping me from accepting myself as an artist, and kept going.
sometimes it takes nurturing, either of ourselves and also from a support system, to say it's okay. And our creativity oracle, which was our newest creation, has step-by-step advice and guidance when you're working on something, and say those critical voices come up, or you reach an obstacle, and sometimes that scares us, or just our inner fear of nobody's going to like it, or why am I doing this? There's such a range. We have 80 cards of all the particular issues in the creative process that we can stumble over or fly over, and you can read them for yourselves, and we'll demonstrate how they work for you.
Right, because we do want people to ask questions, just no health questions, no politics questions.
Hey, Joyce.
We want to keep the tribe. We want to keep the tribe happy with each other.
All right. So we ready to start asking questions, reading questions?
Sure.
Sure.
Because I feel bad if we don't get to people's questions, so as many as we can.
All right, no worries, Lauren.
And this is for entertainment purposes only, of course.
And it's free.
And you're right, all our free readings come with a money-back guarantee.
That's great. You guys are so funny. All right, so I'm going to start from the beginning when I got my first few questions.
Okay.
We're going to start with Karma.
Okay.
Karma would
I
like
love
to
starting
know.
with karma.
Karma would like to know, do you think it will be safe to take an extended trip across the ocean in December, or are things too crazy, and is it better to stay on the mainland of America?
Well, as long as you take a boat, I think you'll be fine. A ship.
I got the Prince of Swords.
That means you have to fight for an idea. That in the tarot. And once again, this is our tarot cards. The Enchanted Tarot is Amy's tapestry, just like the one behind us.
So that prince has a great idea, which is your trip, and he's going forward, kind of galloping on a horse.
Yeah, but the fighting can be with yourself, obviously, because you're asking a question. It could
the
also
airline.
it could be people that you know, and you say, "I'm going to take a boat trip." And the thing about the tarot and about being an oracle is you have to figure out what it means to you.
Well, for instance, what color jumps out at you, or is there something particular in the picture, a bird, a butterfly, a symbol? That's the way it works. And by the way, these are from our Enchanted Tarot
Go down.
deck that comes with the book. It makes it really easy to learn. But I'm not sure if that answered your question. Sometimes questions aren't yes or no.
Well, the answer is yes, you can do it. I mean, I'm telling you psychically what I got is yes, you could do it.
We're doing a combo psychic tarot.
I was joking around about if you take a boat. Of course, you're going to take a boat. It's not like you're going to hit an iceberg or anything like that. I think the thing is mainly the fighting with other people. Let's see what.
I was going to say the same thing, Monty.
Well, you are.
You
got the hat. Like Ray, you got the hat. Ray,
the resistance of the people around, not necessarily inside, but it's when it's spoken and shared. There's
yes, Jeff.
Back on it.
I mean, I can see just in my imagination all those possibilities, but particularly because of what we're going through, that people have a lot of anxiety that they share, comes out in different ways, right?
As an astrologer, I think one of the reasons I've been successful in the books is because I try and keep it real and human. there's a tendency in astrology or anything to go off into, all these kind of crazy answers. While what it really comes down to is you woke up this morning, what now? And we all have to deal constructive living and how to deal with it. And one of the things we've realized is sometimes the people that love you are going to be the biggest obstacle. It comes down to, like Joseph Campbell talked about, the hero's journey. And in the hero's journey, it was basically, finding the chalice or whatever. But the closer you got to your goal, the more fierce became the demons, until at the end you realize you're the fiercest demon there is. Okay, but just before you get to you is the people that love you, because they're going to try and keep you safe. It's like my father said he never came to hear me play music because he didn't want to have to tell me he didn't like it. So I said, don't you think the fact that you never came and to hear me was sort of like saying you didn't like it?
Well, it's irrational.
They mean, yeah, it's an irrational thing, but they're trying to help you. So you have to learn who, like when it says you have to fight, who do you have to fight? Yes, of course you have to fight yourself, but there's also the tendency, like you said, Jeffrey, that it could be someone that you really care about. Okay, so the card I got, which I can't even see, it says risk.
Uh-oh.
Well, maybe I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. You see, here's the thing: when you're an oracle, you got to listen to what the spirits are saying and what your intuition is saying. It doesn't matter what you get, and even if and here's the great art. These are all details from Amy's tapestry. God, look at this. My shirt, the tapestry.
It says, do not deny the risk and the hazards that you see. So I think by the time she wants to go, there's still going to be a lot of these same issues that we're facing now. So she's going to have to weigh if she's willing to go through what she has to go through.
And the book explains more, but as you can see,
she might have to fight through what's required.
Yeah, and obviously you're getting some kind of an intuition about it, or else you wouldn't be asking the question. And
right.
The ancients had a saying: if you know your question, you know your answer. Because drilling down to the heart of why you're asking what you're asking and what you're asking will usually reveal the answer without you even having to go a step further than that.
But sometimes they might know, but they want to see what we say.
Oh, of course. Hey, and it's free. Right. That little word that means so much.
Free. All right, we're ready for the next question.
The next question is from Anna. Will I move back to Long Island within 2 years?
Okay.
I mean, psychically, I heard no.
I got the Hermit. The Hermit in the tarot is walking your own path, walking alone. So I'm not sure.
I mean, if you're going to do it yourself, yeah. But okay, so here's another case where apparently I don't know what I'm talking about.
They're going to have a lot of faith in your answer.
Yeah, really. But that's just it. The answer is not in the cards. It's in the person who's asking it. The question you ask, no one knows your answer better than you. And so you got a new start. You're asking about moving. So if coming to Long Island is a new start, but you're saying coming back to Long Island, so maybe it's not a new start. Sometimes we must realize that what we have done needs to be discarded and we must make a new start.
Well, it can mean so many things, that maybe she'll be moving, but to a different place than she has in her head right now.
Right.
She, and the Hermit is being alone and spending more time thinking about it. But I mean, you're a hermit now. We all are the hermit. Basically, it's kind of the vibe that we're all in.
One of the things that we hope that Ask the Oracles is going to communicate is how you ask a question and how you obtain an answer. A large part of the answer is involved with you expanding your mind, doing what they call free associating.
And what first hits you.
Yes,
right?
What first hits you is usually the right answer.
If we second guess it too much, it kind of fudges it out.
Especially if you're an Aries or you have Aries moon or Aries rising. Anything with Aries, first one, boom.
And give us feedback, because that's really how you get to be better.
How can they give us feedback if they're all muted?
In the chat.
Oh,
the chat.
Or later,
Yeah.
What do you think, Jeff?
I got the message you can't always go back home.
Right. You can't step in the same river twice.
And that there are times.
And he lives in Long Island.
That if this is a return, that it's not necessarily to, I mean, it's not a yes or no, but it's just to recreate and to relive where it once was, not necessarily will happen again.
Well, yeah, and
We wish we could go back in a lot of ways these days, right?
and there's a
Right.
lot of practical, answers. If you're asking about coming to Long Island, a lot of people have moved out of New York City to Long Island. So the prices here, unlike a lot of areas in the country, are probably going to be pretty stable and might even go up for real estate. Once again, the question that you ask is specific to you, and you have to resonate with the answer in some way before you accept it.
And
Right.
nothing's etched in stone. We can
Right.
change things by the way we look at it, by the way we open our mind to more. To me, the most therapeutic thing about using one of our oracles, or any oracle that you like, is gaining a new perspective on your situation.
Sometimes people ask us, what's the difference? Is there a difference between destiny and fate? 5,000 years ago, the Sumerians said there was, and they used the word destiny to describe the orbit of a planet around the sun, because they were aware of that. So, and they also knew that the orbits of the planets had been disturbed, but that takes quite a bit of force and doesn't happen very often. So your destiny is hard to change, but your fate was more human oriented to them. I'm just giving you the definition that they gave. So the oracle can help you a lot more with your fate than with your destiny. Not that that makes any difference at all, and I don't even know why I said it.
It's fine. It's all
But you
good.
were fated to share
I was,
that.
yes, I more like feted.
Lauren?
I have more. Are you ready?
Yep.
Yes.
We're ready,
You're
girl.
always ready. Angie M is asking, how can I best help my mom?
Okay, that's a sweet question.
Well, speaking of moving, which is related to the last card, I get the moving card, which is the Prince of Wands. And that's how you can best help her. And that, I'm not sure how that will manifest in your plan, but maybe you have to move her to another place.
Yeah, the Prince of Wands actually does mean moving. It can mean a physical move to another place in the tarot. It also means moving on up, like the Jeffersons, getting a promotion, getting improving your lot in life. Because anytime you see wands, did it get put away?
Yes.
Okay. Anytime you see wands, it's fire. Fire is action in metaphysical.
You have
terms.
all the elements in the tarot, and we color code them in our particular deck, so that, say you see blue, that's an idea question. And
Those
say
swords are ideas.
Say you see the wands, which are orange, there's some action to be taken.
Right. And wands became the suit of clubs, like clubs, wands, give someone a good shot. It's all about action and faith.
I hope that made sense, Angie.
And
Yeah.
I pulled trust, by the way, which to me,
Oh,
I mean that
cool.
you actually have to trust what you feel, Angie, that it's,
That'll be okay. Yeah.
you are your guide, right? And so that we can give advice, but inside you know what to do.
Oh, she
and-
surely
and-
does.
And so to trust what you feel and what you hear, so that you guide it in the direction you need to be in, because it's
Well done.
it's hearing yourself.
Right. Okay, Lauren.
Okay, here we go. Next we have, one second, Mark Cantor. In
Okay.
regard,
With the great hat.
With a great hat.
yes, with the hat. In regard to this unique kind of interactive exchange, how
Okay.
do you see this scaling?
Ah, okay.
Let's see what the cards say.
Well, when you said that you thought that it wouldn't, I sent it out into the universe to try and do my oracle thing and get creative. And what I realized that what you're saying is true, that there's no way you could have a network show of this where you're asking questions. But believe it or not, people like to hear other people's questions.
I do.
Yeah, but
I do.
But that's
You learn there's universal truths within all the questions.
no, but I still see what you're saying. So then we realized that what this would be sort of like close to a what do they call that, multi-level marketing type of thing, where the only
But
way
in a
to
good way.
scale it. I'm sorry,
In a good way.
in a good way.
Yes.
Yeah, like Young Living or so. I don't know. There's good ones. Tupperware. Tupperware is good. But anyway, but the only way to scale it would be as if
Some
we
people
did it.
might not know what that means.
To scale it means, can you do it huge? Can it be big? Because Mark
So we have enough
has done
people,
big things in his
enough
life.
people that we can interact and answer the questions, but say there were 500 people, it might not work as well, except for your idea.
Well, so that people, like I was saying before, everyone who's watching this is pretty much of an oracle in their own circle, or else why the hell would they be watching this? I mean, it is entertaining in a certain way, but I think at another level, people here want to see other people who do what they do.
And we all have questions all the time. So to become a better oracle is the goal. And we have tools and techniques that could be added.
So you make it like either a university where people get a diploma and then they can answer questions and do their own type of thing. Or, you know, John Edwards used to do, and he might still be,
yeah.
he used to do, you know, 5,000 seat auditoriums where people would ask questions, or he'd do readings for people. I mean, there's other psychics and
but we don't like to think that too far ahead.
No.
But it's interesting, the card I got, which is in the tarot, this card means
This is so us.
well, it's frustration. It also means hollow victory, which I've got, you know, we get this all the time.
Now this
means you get what you want, but
it
might
doesn't satisfy. So I guess what we're saying is, Amy and me, and maybe, well, Jeffrey, you've done big things also. We are happy with this. I guess you know, maybe it won't scale, but this is the rainmaker who gets struck by lightning, as you can see in the image. So this is, be careful what you wish for, because you're going to get it.
Well, one thing, we know that these times are unpredictable, even though we're trying to predict. But
right.
because it's the age of Aquarius, it's not going to be like anything before.
Right.
Just to be clear, what Monty was referring to is, for those of you who were not following, is that one of the abilities we have here is we can convene 500 people in this room. And if we were to identify oracles within us and have some comfort that we're on a similar page, there's some sort of way to certify oracle, that there is certain knowledge being shared, that we could go into breakouts and we could actually have people who were together could help, you know, scale this to the extent that we can handle, you know, rooms of 8 people or 12 people at a time. And so we could perhaps process more questions during the 90 minutes. But it's again, being comfortable with where you're at and where we're at. May not necessarily be that. So it's
right. And maybe it's not scalable.
But also you see an evolution. I mean, just as an artist, I see where I want to go, but then a door will open that's meant to be, and it takes you in a different way. So we don't know. We don't like to lock it into a 5-year plan or anything.
Well, also, I think, I don't know how to tell jokes. I'm funny, but I can't tell jokes. But there's a joke about a guy who sees all the fishermen on the beach, and he comes up to them and says, you know, and the fishermen are having a party because they're celebrating the catch. And he goes through all these things about what they can do and pool their boats and, you know, do the tax things. And at the end of it, they'd be able to have a lot of money and have a party. And the fisherman looks at him like he's crazy and says, we're having a party on the beach right now. Why do we have to go through all that stuff? So what you're saying is probably true. And to scale it, to do it, it would probably be impossible or difficult. But we're having the party on the beach right now. This is good enough for us. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I know you do. I know you do.
All right.
I'm sorry, Jeffrey. I didn't mean to step on you.
But to be continued. Anyway, that idea.
But a good question.
I like the question. Lauren? I think you're there. Lauren?
She's
question.
in the hammock.
I'm sorry. I'm in the house. I'm here. I'm daydreaming. It's this one is from Melinda Pollock Atkinson. Do you see
Mother of
3D?
Smokey.
That's right. Do you see 3D or flat works as my creative work going forward? Or
Oh
both?
my God. Well, as a psychic, 3D jumped off my brain. I just can't. Melinda is an amazing fashion designer. And to think of her doing stuff in 3D, it might be frustrating according to the tarot, because this card means frustration.
Maybe that means you can't do it as fast as your mind works, because since you are an Aquarius, right?
And maybe it won't make the kind of money you want it to make, because I mean, you're used to doing things that are very, very, very high, at the highest level there is in the market. So, but if you can handle the frustration for a little while, according to this, then you could. And maybe I'm psychically off today, but
No,
I got such
Monty,
a yes.
I'll add
No.
something which is even different. I got a fourth dimension here. I got that what she's really going to do is not be 3D, but it'll have its own name associated with it, and it'll be a new form of a new way of expression. A new way of expression. It might be created through a portal of 3D, but the end product is something completely different that doesn't even have a name.
Well, Amy said, pick one more, and this is free associate.
So I think it's not written yet the best way to take it, but you're just going to keep brainstorming about it, and the answer is going to appear.
Yeah.
Allow the first thing that comes into your mind without censoring it.
To bestow a vision upon you, but you're obviously, I think you're onto something. See, because the thing is, as we're all communicating here on Zoom, different words mean different things to different people. So you're saying it's a 3D thing because that's the best way you can convey it to us in a way that we can understand.
But you have something in your mind.
Right. And knowing that your astrology chart is very similar to mine, so no, so definitely I want to see what you're going to do. Oh, there's a good cat.
All right. Are we good?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. This
I
question
love this.
This question is from Marshall M. Will we have our climate bond within 6 months?
I mean, I hear psychically yes. Yes and no is one of the easiest things
Yes.
for a budding psychic. Oh my God, good card.
This is the abundance card.
Independent wealth. in
So
the
that was
tarot.
it. That one was easy. Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Good.
Next.
Next. Okay.
I mean, when you're starting to trust your intuition, yes and no is probably one of the best things to do, because yes feels like this and no feels like this.
What does maybe feel like?
Maybe feels like you don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Well, that's what sometimes it's not written yet.
Right. And maybe is if it's not yes or no.
I know.
Who is this? Who is this woman?
Okay. Cassie C has a question. Cassie Clayton has a question. What will my finances look like for the next year?
Well, you did put a time limit on it.
I got the Four of Wands, which is very good. It's like a
Oh, that's great.
giving thanks. That card is like a Thanksgiving card. So it offers protection, and you'll have what you need.
It's a great card. It also means completion. So perhaps are you doing any kind of courses or any kind of business thing that you're finishing up
graduate?
on?
She's muted. She says yes.
Maybe that cat is going to discover a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. They're amazing animals. You got to give it to them.
What do you get, Jeff?
Unbounded, but in a good way. That she's working on something which actually several projects, and it will turn out not to be financial in the end. That the money is not going to be the issue. There are other things she has to figure out to make decisions about that will just be a factor of where it goes. But it's the money part turns out not to be the focal point of the issue.
Well, that's what I call peeling the onion. When you start asking questions, one question leads to what's the real core.
Right. So the core.
Right.
On the surface, it may sound monetary, but I don't believe that's really the core question.
Well,
that makes sense, Cassie? Just give a thumbs up or down.
Oh, good. Okay, good. Yeah, because there's that great book that you don't have to read the book. It's just like Pieces Every Step. You don't have to read the book because it's in the title. There's Do What You Love and the Money Will Follow. I'm a great believer in that. But the tarot card you picked means a happy marriage that survives the test of time. That's one of the meanings.
Yeah,
of
I would
it.
just, for Cassie, stay in your flow. Don't judge yourself. Don't question yourself, and don't think twice about what it is. Just do it.
Right, and as long as you're healthy and your bills are paid, everything else is gravy.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, really, and I'm not just saying that to be flippant.
Well, you posted the master affirmation.
Yeah, I have all that I need to get what I want. That's a good thing to say if you start feeling like you're on the edge. We call that our master affirmation. I have all that I need to get what I want. And you say that because A, it's true.
It's very soothing to say it.
Yeah. And it's sort of it's like a back flush of a radiator. It just
Shower.
cleans you
I
out.
would just
Showers,
add
but nicer.
not to stop what it is that you're doing and not be worried. Like I understand the monetary stuff, but don't let that get in your flow. And there's several issues, but they're not necessarily tied together. But in your case, don't let go of what it is you're doing.
God, I love this show.
That was awesome.
I want to ask a question.
Yeah, really. This Ask the Barnacle show is really good. That's Rosanna Dana.
All right.
Never mind.
Mauricio has a question.
Cool.
I have 2 projects that I'm passionate about, but they both require my full attention. Which
Okay.
one do I pick? And where will I be living in 6 months?
That's 2 questions.
Well, that's 3 questions. Okay, I'm going to ask about the 2, one or the other.
Oh my God. Okay, so in terms, this will show you that we're not those new age namby-pambies. This is one of the creativity cards that says wounds. And here's the image that from one of the details of Amy's tapestries. Withheld support from the past can cause low self-esteem that cripples action.
Which it might have to do with his projects.
Well, the first
Because
thing.
I got,
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
both of them are great.
yeah, these are wonderful.
No wonder you can't decide.
Yeah, because you got the magician, which you'll
It's a
notice.
magician. Oh, I'm so dyslexic. Okay.
The magician is the
Here's the
purple
magician.
one, and the magician makes magic. And the magician card represents the spirit working its will on the world. The magician causes that world to come into being in the background in the tarot.
Where a lot of skill is involved, that's what he represents.
Right, you notice that's the purple one. The 22 cards of the major arcana in the Enchanted Tarot, Amy's deck. Amy did a tapestry for every one of these cards. The tapestry for the 6 of Pentacles. Pentacles is always money, practicality, things of the earth.
And that means generosity. So there's the funding for that one. Well,
Right.
they're both, you can't go wrong whichever one you pick.
One you make magic, one you make money. So, I mean, Mauricio, when I heard your question and you said they both require your full attention, I was like, no, they just require you to ramp up your attention so you can do both of them. I didn't feel like it was beyond you.
And the wounds card has something to do with the whole process.
Right. So the wounds could be the reason that you think you have to do one or the other.
Mm.
You know, listen, if they were sending out rejection slips on paper like they used to, we could paper our whole house with the rejection
I
slips.
saved some. I saved some. of
What do
them.
you print out the email? Just in case we run out of wallpaper?
I have my grandfather was an artist. I have his rejections.
Yeah.
you
And
know,
we have his paintings too.
it's very poignant, but it's a reminder that that's just part of the process.
Well, it's like trying to do something new. You're going to get rejected until you're accepted. That's just the way things work, unless you get accepted on the first shot, which has happened.
That's happened to us.
It's happened a couple of times.
And then you want it to happen again.
Right. It's like, I guess, is that so wrong? We're addicted to things happening on the first shot, you know, but it doesn't, we all know that it doesn't happen that way, usually. New question.
Lauren,
Here
go
it
ahead.
goes.
Thank you.
This one is from
you're
Will.
welcome.
Oh, sorry.
No, I was just saying you're welcome to Mauricio because he said thank you.
Yes. This is from Will in Hawaii. I have a very big collaboration show lined up for the fall of 2021.
Okay.
I'm thinking about asking the museum if we can postpone it until the fall of 2022.
So you want to know if you should postpone it from this coming fall? I mean, from 21 to 22, if that's a good idea?
Yeah.
I mean, I heard psychically no.
No.
Let
Yeah,
them do it.
I'm with Monty. 2021 may be different than 22, but
Yeah.
I would not postpone it.
I got the judgment card, and the judgment card is something that's been dormant, will rise again. And I mean, it's what I saw when I first looked at it. I thought no for that particular question, but it's also the card that comes right before graduation.
Yeah.
So anyhow, I think it's going to be good to do it when it's planned.
That's all. And why put the idea of, well, not having your show in their head?
I think so many people are postponing that schedules are getting screwed up. If everything's moved forward.
If they say it, it's one thing, but if you say it, it's another.
I hope that helps.
From your perspective, it
Am
might
I
be
muted?
no. You're
No.
talk.
We hear you.
This has been set up for a long time. It's actually at the Southampton Arts Center, where I'm
Cool.
supposed to collaborate with. It's called Gratitude, the show, and my cut is going to Memorial Sloan Kettering. But the fact that it's all collaborations, I'm here in Hawaii. I should be there collaborating now. Makes me think I'm going to get back there in June, and I only have from June till the end. They want to do it in October to collaborate with about 30 artists. So I'm starting to do it now from here remotely. But really, what I was hoping to have 2 summers to get the work done.
No, I think it'll be okay.
I think it'll be
Okay.
okay. You'll rise to the occasion.
Not only that, but you're a talented person. I mean, part of creativity is figuring out how to deal with situations.
Everybody needs a
Also-
show called Gratitude.
Yeah, really, it's going to be like the Roaring '20s after this COVID thing is.
Yeah, and it's a big deal. This is a big show for me, and I don't want to rock the boat because they
Exactly, but that's what I'm saying. Don't put it in their head that you
Okay.
want to postpone it, because then they'll be, well, he's out.
Well, Will, the other thing is that it may manifest into a different type of show than you had thought in the beginning, but it's not a show to be canceled. People need it. There's
Good.
a need on the other side to be received. And so it's to do the show and be open to shifting how it's presented, but absolutely do it.
Okay,
Yeah.
great.
I just want to say sometimes we're all perfectionists. I think, Will, you're kind of thinking, the perfect situation. And we can't be perfectionists now. I mean, because nothing's ever perfect anyway.
No.
But these challenges that we're all facing on different levels and different ways forces us to be even more creative.
Right. I mean, Amy's having a show in a month, and she only had 2 months to prepare. She's having a show with the famous.
So I don't want to hear.
Yeah. Don't bring us no bad news. No, we're only kidding. But she's having a show now during the pandemic, because
We got to keep moving the energy, and we got to
Yeah.
keep going to higher places and not let fear and all the things that can stop us.
right.
We have to stay true to ourselves, do it in safe ways, do it. If we just keep putting our lives off, that's not a good thing.
Well, also it comes back to Joseph Campbell and the hero's journey. That when you get down to it, the biggest obstacle is usually yourself. The hero at the end, after all of Scylla and Charybdis and every disaster that comes, there's who's stopping you? You.
Yes.
So, but also keep in mind that and I know you know this, the people that are in museums and they're having a show, that's their creativity. So they don't want to hear about anybody stopping it, and they don't want to hear about anyone being a problem, because right now everyone's dealing with so many problems. They don't want one more.
That's right.
I mean, that's just structural. That has nothing to do with psychic or cards or anything like that.
It was originally set up for September of 21. That's the 5-year anniversary of the last show that I had, which the money went to Sloan Kettering. That was at the White Room. So they've already put it off from September to October. So I felt reluctant to ask them, even though I'd love to have more time to collaborate.
No, I think you're right. I think you see, and that's just it. When you're asking a question with an oracle, with either if it's a cards or if you're asking your intuition, you know the answer.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what the oracle.
We look for confirmation.
I was
But we should take another question.
We should take another question. The
Thank
boss
you, guys.
is just.
Okay,
Our
boss.
pleasure. Aloha.
Aloha.
You guys are great.
The next question comes from Dana Dolan. Is my house going to get a good appraisal so I get to complete the sale of my home? Will I be able to move to France permanently?
I heard yes all around.
It's funny, I got the Hermit because Anna had asked about moving, and what's with the Hermit?
Well, he is moving.
It's
It's one of the
three times
cards
so
that
far.
shows somebody walking their own path.
little by little, right?
Yeah, and it also means get professional help, right? Because I think sometimes that card comes up for us a lot about lawyers. The only thing we use a lawyer for is copyright issues.
And it's also a master, it's one of the major arcana.
Yeah, it's a master card.
It's a definite yes. May not happen as fast as you like.
Well, also the creativity card that I got is insight. I don't know if you can see that.
Yes.
Okay, good. See beyond appearances, masks, cliches, and cultural stereotypes to gain insight. I have no idea how that relates to you selling your house.
France.
Ah, masks spelled with
I'm sure
an
France has
S-Q-U-E-S.
its own problem.
Yeah, but I heard yes all around psychically. That was a definite,
Have you lived there before, Dana?
I think you have, right?
Oh, sorry, you're muted.
You're muted.
Yes, I have.
I thought you had.
Yeah, I had a house there for 10 years.
Right, I thought so.
But
Okay.
now I want to go back permanently. I found the most incredible house. The most incredible house. And I got in there first of anybody. And
Go
so
for it.
they're keeping it for me for almost a year. They're not selling to anyone else. They're only selling to me. And,
Allez vite.
Oui, merci beaucoup, Monty. Amy.
Oui.
Mon bon ami, mon bon ami.
Bon ami.
Bon ami. Ami. Yeah, friend. Cool.
Okay, merci beaucoup.
Anytime.
De rien.
Lauren.
All right. The next question comes from Karen, our cousin. Where are you, Karen? You're here somewhere.
I thought.
Is that on the next page?
Yeah,
Yes, it might be.
we have 3 pages. It's so awesome.
It is awesome. We will be empty nesters soon. How will that be? He's a Capricorn and I'm a Scorpio.
Well, I can tell you right now, from an astrology standpoint, Capricorns have had their asses handed to them for the last few years. So if you're still together and you're still and things are still moving forward, this is a wonderful person, because it has not been easy. And Amy got the independent wealth.
This came up for someone else. That means it's going to be great. You're going to feel more independent and be able to do what you want to do.
And you'll have a little bit more money, according to this. Because anytime you see pentacles, you notice that in the background of all the pentacle cards, Amy used the diamond shape because the pentacles of the tarot became the diamond suit in playing cards. And in clubs, in wands, you'll see she uses the club shape. She's very sneaky, actually.
Anyhow, when a pentacle comes up, it's things about the material world, and so we're giving you the answer. It's going to be great. It's going to be independent. You're going to have money to do what you want to do.
And it says feel lighthearted and originality. Now here's a case.
Yeah, they're gone.
Well, exactly. Here's a classic case of expanding your mind. What is the card trying to tell you? Originality means you're going to be like you were as a couple originally before you had children.
Thank God.
Well, how do you really feel?
No, I'm excited. I'm excited. We have kids off of college, one's, a young adult working. So it's been a long time, and we have a very good marriage. I just don't remember what it was like before.
Well, it says all about originality, and here's the art.
Good.
Feel lighthearted and free, while trusting that your unique way of doing things is
good.
the right way.
It's dancing. It's Rumba dancing.
Are you going to dance around the house then?
Yeah, you're going to be doing, maybe you'll be doing either the rumba or the tango.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Conga line.
I love it. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thanks for asking questions from inside your car.
Sorry, I have an appointment I have to get to. Sorry about
No,
that.
it's cool.
The sound is good.
We
you.
absolutely love this venue. This venue is the coolest thing going.
And thank you, Jeff. Thank you.
Yeah, it's all Jeff and Lauren and Harry.
Lauren?
Jeffrey's taught us so much about technology, way back. I forget when we met actually, but maybe 2007, 2008, something. I remember you were doing these big conferences, Jeffrey, and
probably before 2007. But I was doing it in 2007 too.
Yeah.
So when we met Jeffrey, he said, to Monty, you're an interesting guy. You should come to one of my conferences.
I thought I was going to get there. There'll be like two 2 dozen geeks sitting around a table. There were 7,000 people filling the San Jose Convention Center. And yeah, I hired a band to play to entertain everybody. It was Heart, the group Heart, you know. I was like, whoa, it was the most amazing thing. Every major, this was during the early days of Voice over the Internet Protocol. And so it was called Vaughn.
And yeah, Jeffrey, you were such an oracle then too.
You certainly were.
People would follow you, right? You told me that people followed.
So people followed him. I don't know if you've ever been to a teaching hospital, but when the professor walks into the room and says something about the patient, everybody shuts up. So there'd be a room full of people talking, including people like Cory Booker and the head of the FCC. When Jeffrey would open his mouth, everyone would shut up and just listen to whatever he said. And I was like, not exactly 14 geeks sitting around a table, huh?
No.
There's another funny story about that conference, but
I can't tell that one.
All right.
It's a karma card story. I'll tell
Okay.
it when we're intimate.
It sounds like it's time for another question.
Yes, it does. I've rambled on too far. Hi,
Okay.
Joyce.
The next question that we got here is from Andrea K. Is my car cursed or am I being protected because my transmission went and it will be fixed soon, but I haven't had it all summer?
yes, it will be fixed soon. I got the healing card, which is the star.
This is the music like after the storm. After the storm.
Soon it'll be over.
Yeah,
the worst times will be over.
Right, and in terms of the creativity oracle, I got introspection. So this time has, without the car, has given you time to be introspective. Though I'm sure you wished you'd rather have the car. Yeah. I mean, that's another one of the reasons, the unfortunate benefits of this horrible pandemic that's killed so many people, is it's made us all into monks in our Himalayan caves, or shamans like this guy, detailed from one of Amy's pieces.
Where we get to contemplate the forces of the universe and our own history, our own thoughts. Sometimes it's unpleasant.
Yeah, but that would be true even if it wasn't for the pandemic. But this, I think, once again, it just shows you that the whole global tribe is going through the same thing. They say,
which makes it better, right? It makes you feel better to know.
My friend Richard used to say, "Misery loves miserable company." But I think what we're talking about is not that we want other people to be miserable, but it's like you can't say, "Oh my God, why me?" when everyone's getting the same thing. So it takes one of the layers away. The why me. It's why everybody.
Do you have anything to add, Jeff, about her transmission?
No, but I think it'll turn out to be a good time because she had it broken. So
when I went from being a performer just playing with a one-man band with a robot called the Me, Myself, and I band, and I went to having a band, I called it Monty Farber in Transition. and I met my friend.
We didn't know what transition meant.
Well, we're talking about the 70s, and I met my friend Gene Klein, also known as Gene Simmons, who plays bass for Kiss. He said, people are going to think that you're talking about your transition, your transmission. So he says, you got to get a new name for your group. So my drummer, Yogi Horton, had always called me Monstar. That was his nickname. So we call the group Monstar.
That's
little known facts that you will not be tested on, nor will anyone ever know what the hell you're talking about.
All right, so the next thing I have in front of me is from Michelle S. I'm not sure if it's a question or a statement, but I'm going to go with it. Okay. For me, the Prince of Swords is running in the opposite direction, which is that there will be significant obstacles in the way.
Was this in reference to us picking the Prince of Swords? Because I can't remember who we picked that for.
Well, it wasn't for Michelle, I don't think. I think it might have been in reference. Let me just see if I can get her.
Anna was raising her hand.
Here's Michelle. And Anna has a hand raised?
Maybe. I guess we picked it. She was saying we picked it.
That was a reference to Karma's question.
Okay.
Okay.
So you're asking about the Prince of Swords and how it refers in your life?
No, that was me responding to Karma.
Oh, perfect.
Okay.
Oh. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks. Sorry.
Okay, I'm sorry.
You know,
Um,
when you do this stuff, you get spaced out, and you can't remember what you said before.
Yeah, and the cards were saying habits.
Right, exactly. Okay, so this one is for Adrian.
Okay.
Adrian D. I'm about to open 2 new stores for my business.
Cool.
I had to leave my space due to Corona. I'm returning to a chalet where I launched. How will my stores do?
Okay.
It's funny, I got the 2 of, you love it when the tarot reader says, oh, that's funny, or that's weird. You know. So I got the 2 of Pentacles, which is you're juggling. It's going to be a lot of juggling back and forth, but it is a money card.
Yeah.
So I think they'll both work.
See, once again, the diamond shape in the background, it's the snake shedding its skin. It's infinity. It means juggling the 2 stores. And strangely enough, we got from the creativity oracle, we got confidence. And there's that affirmation. I'm all that I need to get what I want.
No accidents.
Right. So apparently that you should be confident, and just remember you have all that you need to get what you want.
Where is she?
Well, she could be on.
Thank you guys so much.
Oh, you're welcome. She could be on one of the other
Okay.
screens. We have 3 screens worth of people. That's so cool.
Oh, there she is. I think that card I picked also has snakes shedding
It
their
really
skin.
is.
So you're not going to do it the way it was. You're a snake shedding its skin, and it's going to be new. And from the wisdom and knowledge that you've gained by contemplating in this time, you're going to do it. You're going to really be able to juggle.
You know, the tarot and all the oracles that are card based are actually just like a search engine, and you have to be able to determine what exactly the search engine is trying to tell you, what information has been returned. But there's a lot of information on the cards. In the Rider-Waite deck, which most people know, the tarot, it's actually that card, those two of Pentacles, shows a real juggler.
Also, we have a book that comes with our
Yep,
deck.
that's my life.
Yep. Yep. So the Enchanted Tarot in the store looks like this. Not that you have to buy anything, but you'll notice it says over 250,000 copies sold on that little badge over there. And that's just in America. It's actually sold a lot more than
And
that.
it comes with a purple velvet bag
Right.
because I like purple.
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do.
Me too.
Wait,
And
so do
they're
I. What
beautiful.
about me?
And they sell it in France, Dana. So when you're over there, you can. It's in French, German, Italian, and Portuguese. In France, they sell tarot cards in every tobacco shop, and that's been a tradition for a long time.
Well, we were talking about that the other day, how the New Age movement, when I was young in college, 1969, 1970, my girlfriend brought over 1 book on the tarot. That's what got me hooked. I remember very vividly sitting there leafing through and being so fascinated. And there actually was, I was in art school at Pratt. There was a gentleman, Dana, you knew him,
Yeah, David Palladini.
who had just designed his own deck. And
Yeah.
so I found it very intriguing as an artist. And of course it became, part of my life tapestry.
Yes. Actually, David is included in this new book from Toshin on the tarot. They're doing a whole series on metaphysics.
Toshin is an art book
Yeah, they're really,
publisher.
and Amy has 3 of her tarot cards in this Toshin book, and David Palladini's work is in there too.
But what triggered me to say that was like now esoteric wisdom is available in every grocery store
Yeah.
practically. It wasn't like when we were young where you kind of had to seek it out and it was more secret.
Yeah. The truth is out there, as they used to say in
X-Files.
X-Files, right?
All right. We ready? This
Yeah.
question comes to us from Sharin. What should I focus on in my business now? And
Okay.
should I wait to partner with a business partner or do it on my own? Thanks.
I like the way they
Well,
sneak
this
in
is
more
very
than one.
specific. I know they sneak in like 3 questions. It's fine. We're used to it. This is working with another one. Obviously, you can see in the picture, it's 2 women working together. They're holding a basket together. This is work shared in a happy way. So it's definitely
With a partner.
partnership.
Yeah, this is a pretty specific answer. Every once in a while, the answers are that specific, which we like, but not necessarily.
But I think that people's answers that maybe were more vague or open-ended, that's just the way it is now.
But
If they
speaking,
ask in a month, maybe there'll be some more clarity depending on actions they have taken
Right.
or processing that they've done.
well, it's I like to use the illustration of a record needle. The present moment is like the tip of the record needle. I guess a lot of the people watching this know what phonograph records are. And so, but except the future, I have this concept called quantum affirmations, another one of my 50-something books. And it's the needle leads off into a whole bunch of different possible futures based on what's now. And our consciousness and our intention and our dedication helps us to get to the record groove in the future that we want to get to, and that gets us to the future that we want to get to. But I just want to say one thing. Here we are on Ask the Oracles, and people are asking questions. I would bet that every person watching this gets an intuition, especially on the yes or no
When
question.
they ask the question?
Yeah, when they hear the question asked about from someone from around the world, whether it's in Chile or it's in Hawaii or whatever, when someone asks a question, I bet every person watching this
Gets a yes
gets
or
a yes or a no or
picture.
a feeling or a memory of something.
We'll have to play with that. We'll have to throw it out to the group sometimes just to encourage people to trust that.
That's the whole thing.
I remember years ago, I mean, it was still like 1975 when you and I took an ESP course.
Yeah.
And there were all kinds of experiments and techniques that you could learn. Like when you just hold a card without looking at it, you could feel an energy and get an answer. And I think you need a support group to sort of encourage that and say it's all right, because people are afraid of being wrong. Right?
Well, exactly. Well, fear is the destroyer, especially in a group like this. There is a group energy because, as you'll notice, certain cards come
That's
up
why
a
we
lot.
keep babbling on.
Right. We're feeling your energy.
It's your fault.
You're right. We're blaming. That's our specialty, is blaming other people.
Jeff, I don't remember what the question was, but do you have anything that?
I heard collaborations all I got. So
Okay.
that's sort of
Oh, yes. It was
Summarized
about
it for
working
me.
with a partner, right?
Yeah, it was definitely working with a partner.
yes. Lauren? next?
Yes. Thank you for that. Now we're on to, let's see, Jacqueline J. Why is it so difficult for me to have people purchase my items, readings, my new class launching, etc.?
Okay.
Wait a minute. That's my
Interesting.
question.
That's it.
Now, everybody feels like that, you know. Okay. Time can be seen to be both linear and spirals. Circle back to explore concepts from the past and create the future. So, of course, this is sort of referring to the worst word in the English language, patience,
I got something similar, which is the Two of Swords,
which is
Which is-
taking time out, actually.
which
This is
maybe you're overthinking and thinking about it too much, or thinking that things should be different than what they are. It's my figure in this piece is holding a feather, and she's sort of like saging herself and clearing her mind of anxiety and all the outer stuff that that enters in. So it's like taking a vacation from worry
Yeah.
and rebalancing your attitude about it. And then I know this is such an issue with creative people, like why are they doing so well and I'm not, or
Right.
it should, with all the effort I put in, it should be paying off more. But you have to get rid of those thoughts. That's what the cards say.
Yeah, it's to remove the fear, uncertainty, and doubt. It needs to be cleared, and then it's because there's pressure coming from within rather than on the outside. It's it's internalized, and that needs to be cleared. That path needs to be cleared out, and then things could be at least be more balanced. But there's internal blockage.
And Jacqueline just wrote that she creates fairy joy dusters with feathers.
Oh wow!
Oh, that's amazing. And there's a feather in the piece.
Wow!
Perfect.
Wow!
It's always more than you even think, right?
But
Yeah,
it could mean, it could also, it could mean to concentrate on that,
Yeah.
because it sounds like you're doing a lot of stuff. And
You mean
sometimes
the feather work?
yes, sometimes, once again, it's what it means to you. But as a reader, I have to I have to get out of my own way and see what it could mean to you. The minute I hear that you have something to do with feathers, then that's what's talking to
But
you.
also when we do it for ourselves, I mean, I always have the card. Doing the cards for yourself is like a little ritual, you know, just like brushing your teeth or, you know, taking a shower. It's like, okay, let me see what the cards want to tell me today for guidance. And if you yourself had picked that card with the feather, you'd know exactly what it would
Yeah.
mean, and you know exactly what it would trigger, you know, creatively for you. We're sort of, you know, giving you our first impressions of tuning in the energy, you know, of you asking the question. But when you do it for yourself, it's very powerful.
Yes.
And while you were talking, I just pulled patience and success, one after the other. So
Nice.
So it's reiterating, it's all tied in, right, Jeff? We
Yes,
always
yes.
get the same, we articulate it a little differently.
Well, and time and timing is just so important. And but patience is one of the hardest things in the tarot. That's a lot of times people are more afraid of the patience card, you know, the temperance card, than they are of the death card.
We've all been forced to be more patient, and being an Aries, I know there's other Aries, I know Joyce's and I am, that's our lesson. We can't do it fast enough.
Right.
And it's amazing, right, that I spend so much time, my work takes a lot of time, but it's always a test of patience.
Right. I mean, I sometimes wonder why Amy's work isn't in the Metropolitan Museum of Art. You know,
Well, we never ask the cards that.
no, we never do, because it's up to us to do what we do. Just keep doing what we're doing without focusing on that kind of
Or making comparisons.
right. Exactly. It's like the old stories about the Japanese wood carvers. You know, you just do what you do, and it comes out. If you start thinking about the end, you're going to break
it
it.
could happen. It could happen.
It could happen, yeah. And I mean, that is the goal. Is we're going to do our own museum, but
We'll do it ourselves.
It does. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. You know,
Right.
Creativity is actually, you know, one half bravery, because you have to face that unknown. That unknown, is anyone going to like it? What's going to, you know, the blank page. There's a million different aspects of it, but a lot of it has to do.
Or 80, like we put in the book.
Right. There's 80 cards here in this, and there's gold in them our cards.
All right. I think we'll do it. We have, wow, it's almost, we only have 25 minutes left. This is going fast. Wow.
Wow.
Lauren,
That's
go ahead.
amazing. All right. We have a lot of questions. I'm going to move on. This
Okay.
one's for Judith.
Hey,
Judith.
Judith.
Hi, Judith.
Okay, let me just see. Maybe I can find her too. Well, I'll find her in a second. There are two directions I could go: music teaching / Zoom programmings, or working with activity planning and support for families dealing with Alzheimer's. Which way do I go?
I felt the second.
Alzheimer. Yeah, the second one.
The second one is what I felt.
The first one might be more challenging, but here's what we got for the second one, which is arrows of love. You're going to get such positive feedback. It's something that could happen fast. It's something that you love, and it's close to your heart.
That's which one? The Alzheimer's one?
Yes.
Yes, and I got in the creativity oracle, I got nurture, and what could be more nurturing than what you're talking about?
That's true.
And also, you're that kind of person. I mean, you're a great musician. There's no denying that. But I mean, your heart is so open. When anyone meets you, they see it. And it says, for self-care, try loving and nurturing yourself as you would a child or a pet. And that's sort of what you'd be doing, helping people just get in touch with the love, because there's so much fear around Alzheimer's.
I'm sure your music would be an integral part of it anyway, right?
Yeah, that's true.
And psychically, I felt that.
What do you get, Jeff?
I was listening to you. There was no doubt about the nurturing and the caring part. I actually think somehow the two of them are related. I don't know exactly how.
Sure.
But I think the second one happens, and then she could pull it into the first. But I don't think it's either or in reality. I think there's.
No, I think you're right. And isn't music the last thing that goes in our minds? You know that.
That's true. That's actually very true.
So I think there's somehow they're actually paired.
I mean, I'm going to be singing the Bucky Beaver and Ipana commercial when I'm like on my deathbed. You know,
That's really freaky, Monty, because my mother, who had Alzheimer's, used to sing the Ipana
Oh my God, I got chills so bad.
You just pulled it. You pulled it right out of the air.
Big chills.
Well, I am psychic after all.
Well, duh.
You know, and the thing with psychic stuff is it's non-local. It doesn't matter that we're all on different sides of the world, because we're talking about quantum entanglement, and quantum entanglement goes across the universe. Even though
I feel so entangled, you have no idea.
with brusha with the new iPad.
But didn't I say something about brushing?
You did. You did. You mentioned brushing your teeth. Well, so maybe the ultra message is I need to brush my teeth more.
Well, you know, they have been saying, the dentists have been saying that the masks.
Oh, I'm at the nursing home, so, you know.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Yeah, because they've been saying that, dentists have been saying that they're seeing a lot of problems from the masks. Like, you know, not trench mouth, but
well, let's keep it more
mouth.
like the spirit speaking to.
Oh, I'm sorry. All right, where's my iPad and toothbrush?
Wow. All right, Lauren.
Okay.
Heather, please.
Yes, this is from Luciana. I'm sorry if I didn't say your name right. For the past 7 months, I've been creating a startup with a data scientist. We have a working prototype and we are in pre-launch phase, already running pilots with paying customers. How do you see us growing and seizing this opportunity? And what is the most important advice that you would give us for the next 6 months?
What a great question.
Maybe we should be asking Mark this question. He's an oracle for stuff like that.
I got the 10 of Wands, which means carrying too much. So that's just sort of a warning to make sure you're not trying to do too much too fast, because it might wear you out. It sounds very exciting.
It surely does. Let me see what I get on the creativity oracle. Maybe there's still more things that have to be done, because it got to explore. Sorry about the light kick. It says, trust your imagination to help you journey through your inner landscape to find what you seek.
So again, we just want to stress that when you read those words, like your inner landscape, that might have something to do with the project itself, you know, what you're offering to people.
Yeah, I mean, from what you said, it sounds like it's ready to go. But from what the cards are saying,
wait a little, you know, try not to do too much too fast. I hope that's good advice.
Maybe it needs more, what are they, beta testing, or do they do focus groups in that kind of thing, Jeffrey or Mark?
They sometimes will, you know, and it's always a challenge, you know, when you're in that state. You know, sometimes you feel pressure that you have to accelerate where you're at, and you didn't give your startup enough time to pivot, to grow into where it's going to be successful. And so forcing and depending upon the environment, it's so easy to fall into that trap. So giving yourself runway to breathe and to be open to shifting is kind of critical. And that if
I just I picked another card, the World. I said, will it be successful? And that's a big yes.
Yeah, this is graduation. This is the last card of the first 22 of the tarot. And it means the end of a major cycle and taking something to the world. I just want to say, everybody, those of you who know us and don't know Jeffrey has done startups that have gotten really kind of huge, and he's been supportive of other ones. Same thing with Mark. I mean, so there's people who are on this call that have done what you're asking about. So when Jeffrey says something, I would listen to him. Who cares what the tarot cards say?
I'm sure it's offended Jeffrey asking a question. Do we know people doing startups?
I don't know. We might. Well, right, exactly. She's probably like, I can't wait till those tarot people stop chattering so I can hear what Jeffrey has to say.
It's all good. It's all good.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay, our next question is from Michelle. Michelle S. My lease is up January 31st due to a county construction project. Where should I move? Rent or buy? Aquarius moon married to Capricorn stellium.
Capricorn stellium. Oh my God.
See,
forget it. Stellium means you got 3 or more. Well, I think of it as 5, but I've just read that it's 3.
Did you get a place because she didn't? Sometimes in a question, it's better to say, "Well, I moved to California," or "Well, I moved to Florida."
Yeah, I mean, I did feel that it was in California, but who's moving? You'll be the only person moving to California. It'll be easy to get a U-Haul
I'm sure.
because they're all going the other direction. Okay, once again, we got the risk
Risk.
card. So this is be aware. You will have to beware. So I don't think you should make a decision just yet. I think you should explore your options.
And which this is also emphasizing that this card means illusion, and it's also having lots of choices. It's
Yeah.
a picture of an angel with 7 hearts. Which one's real? Which one's not real? You know, which one is just a fantasy, and which one? I think you should take more time to think about all of your options and not settle on one.
Yeah, and this card means Maya, illusion. I think all the information is not in yet. What do you get, Jeff?
That wherever she chooses will not be where she ends up.
So it's a tentative, like
it's tactical, not strategic. That it's not long term. That there's going to be other. It's not either or. Even if it feels like either or where I'm going, it's the journey continues beyond what's being said.
So interpreting that and mixing that with what we got on the cards, it would be like, yes, when the ground rushes up at you and you have to move, move, but you're not. That's not where you're going to stay. That's like,
it's sort of like being at the edge of the ocean with the beach and the sand, and you don't, for whatever reason, you don't want to get wet, but you're going as far as you can, and then you pull back where it's dry. And so she's going to a place where it's dry, but not necessarily a place where she'll plant roots.
well, once again, you're talking about strategy, which is something that comes from using an oracle, because it's not always yes or no. And when you're talking about time and timing, Ginger, I see Amy's work behind you.
Yes.
That's Amy. That's Amy's one of Amy's early robes. Oh my God!
It's a ceremonial robe.
Ceremonial robe on the wall at Ginger's house. That's so cool.
That is so cool.
Speaking of imagination, being an artist, the card I picked for the person asking about moving is the fantasy card. So it's like, use your imagination, fantasize about the ideal place. All of those thoughts, sort of help us form how to manifest something.
Great. We have another question. This one's from River D's.
Hey, River.
I'm putting here, let me unmute her.
Okay.
I've never seen your full name. I've only seen it as RIV.
What it says here is, I'm putting an offer in on my dream house today. Will it be accepted?
Well, I heard psychically yes.
I got the
Yay!
King of Wands as dynamism. It's like, you're ready to go. It's ready to go. It's a big yes.
And for some reason, I got this card. It says distraction. So don't let anything deter you from getting it.
Okay. That's very exciting.
Yeah. But
congratulations.
Yeah, really, that's good.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. We live in the house that Amy grew up in, so
we don't know about moving.
Yeah. Once right. I mentioned something to Amy about moving. It was like I was speaking Swahili.
Well, thank you so much. That's very exciting to hear. And
I hope you're as happy as we are. That sounds great.
Yes, I'll have to send you pictures.
Oh, good.
Yeah, please.
It's a different kind of house. It's a dome home, so I think.
Nice.
Yeah, it's
like a Buckminster Fuller type of thing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Interesting.
See what an interesting group this is.
Yes.
I mean, it's just. I mean, one of a friend of mine asked me the other day, "What do you think is wealth?" And one of the things I said is friends. Look at all the friends we have. Your friends, Jeffrey, our friends. This is true wealth.
It's Aquarius rules friendship. And it's the age of Aquarius.
It's the age of Aquarius, or as I try and explain it in my Facebook pages and my writings. Yes, it was the Pisces age, but it was the Pisces Virgo polarity. Right now,
2,000 years.
Last 2,000 years. Now, and I think the COVID-19, if anyone had any doubts about we're in the Aquarian age now, and it's all about technology. It's also
revolution.
Revolution.
Out of the blue.
Sudden out of the blue stuff. But you have Aquarius and Leo. Those are the two signs of the zodiac. Leo is the star. Leo is the leader. Leo is this.
Showbiz.
And Aquarius is humanity. So it's everybody is a star, like the song. So that's, Zoom and all the other different things, Facebook, everybody is enabled to be a star. It's like Andy Warhol's Everyone's Famous for 15 Minutes now. Talk about a prophet. So the Aquarian polarity, Aquarian Leo polarity is here, and friendships are as important as family now.
And tribes.
And the tribes, that's Capricorn. That's the next one.
That's awesome. Awesome stuff. My kids are both Leos, and I'm an Aquarian. So now maybe
they need a lot of attention, those Leos.
Strangely enough, Leos
tell me about it.
Leos are one of the few signs that can marry each other.
Really?
Well, it rules love. They can be very loving if they get enough attention.
Right. So if they give each other enough attention, it can work out. But I've seen it happen more than you'd think as a counselor.
That's very cool. All right, we have another question for you.
Okay.
Last week we answered a question for Dean, and he said, last week you were very encouraging about the novel. I'm writing. Thanks, much appreciated. Any sense of the duration, time toward completing it? And P.S. I woke up at 3 a.m. this morning with a revelation about one of the characters.
Well, I wouldn't ask.
You have to put the time on it.
You have to do a reading for yourself on that. I don't think it would be appropriate for us to do a time thing on it. It sounds like you're in the flow. So I think
definitely within 6 months.
Yeah, and why put a time limit on it anyway? Unless, of course, you have a deadline.
Because last week we said, get it out there.
Yeah, but that's just it. The future is fluid. So I'm finishing up my book, Mindful Astrology, today. It was due a couple of weeks ago.
Well, when you let someone, it's a whole thing about letting something go. You have to polish it and polish it. And wait, I have to fix something. Wait.
Well, no, you just have to go through it once. Knowing when to stop is very important. If we said get it out there, then do your best. You can't.
Within 6 months, that might sound short to you. It sounds, doable, right?
Well, there is no due date. So actually, I thought about, after I put it in the chat, I thought about how you can't answer your own questions. So I'm thinking really second or third quarter of next year.
Sounds right.
If not before, Dean, don't. It's as long as you stay in flow and don't be hypercritical of your own stuff, you're good.
Yeah.
Well, just as people have been published a lot and dealt with a lot of publishers, you don't have to finish something to submit it. You have to have a really solid proposal and sample chapters, because they're going to put their 2 cents in anyway.
Right.
And here's the Jeffrey card.
Passion.
Yeah, this is Jeffrey's card. It will take passion for you to push through your self-criticism to get to a place of confidence. And that's the card I picked.
Well, he is passionate if he's getting up at 3 a.m.
I know that, but I just thought it was just when I see the passion card, I think of Jeffrey, because Jeffrey is
he wants us all to follow our passion.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, it is absolutely my passion. It's all consuming.
That's great.
Well, then it's going to magnetize the right outcome.
Gotta speak.
All right, we're coming in on 10 minutes left. Laura?
10 minutes left. Well, here's the thing. From what I can see, the rest of our questions were asked by people who've already had a question.
Oh.
So we can do one of 2 things. I can go back and get to them, or you can see if there's anyone in the audience of the 46 who have a question that they haven't shared in there but want to raise their hand. It's really up to you guys.
Cassie, you have some menagerie. You have the cats and there's a little dog.
Let's pick some cards on what our collective.
Yeah, collective.
This is like a message for all of us in this group.
Collective consciousness.
I got the Empress, which is all about creativity. She's Mother Earth. She gives birth. Hopefully what we talk about helps you get in touch with your own creativity. And, there is networking to be done among all of us. And I think it's a nurturing environment for our creativity. So this is a message. The more creative we are, the better, more beautiful world it will be, right?
I agree. And I got the details card.
Attention to details.
Examine your situation and take care of every detail one step at a time. That's very Virgo for those of you who want to learn astrology. And this is very unusual.
We're in the time of Virgo.
Right, the sun is in Virgo now. It's a very unusual, it's like a one-celled animal that somehow appeared in Amy's art.
Wow.
Well, that to me is like honing in. And since we're in the time of Virgo, aren't you a Virgo, Jeff?
I am.
Happy birthday.
Coming
Thank you.
up.
It's
So-
coming up soon.
So it's about organizing. It's about breaking things down into different parts and, being able to analyze situations. So that's the energy now in the air for all of us.
For all of us who are watching. So when you think of the sign Virgo, think of digestion. Because it breaks up the food into its component parts. Virgos are the great critical path analysis persons. But in that word analysis is anal, and the danger of a Virgo is to be too conscious of the details, not enough of the big picture, though that's never your problem, Jeffrey. and the worry, when you get attached to an outcome, that's when your whole creativity
and then
stops.
it affects your digestion when you worry.
Right.
But we have a lot of our closest friends are all Virgos.
Yes, and
people with a lot of Virgo, and I always show them like my tapestries before I show anyone else, because they'll always notice like the one little thread hanging off of it. It's good to pass things through a Virgo.
Yes.
They're critical. You have to be able to,
Right, and
bear
people with Venus and Virgo, if you find out you have Venus and Virgo in your chart, that is why you could be a little more critical of your partner than other people. Because anytime you see Virgo, think perfectionism.
By the way, the 2nd of September is a full moon. So it's going to be moon in Pisces like you have.
Right.
We love astrology.
Astrology is fun. It's our language of love. So is the tarot. And since we're saying goodbye to everybody, Enchanted Tarot, it's going to be it's unfortunately sold better than we thought, and it's gone out of print, but it'll be back in print in about a week. It'll be back in the stores. It comes in this. It's all right. Kind of.
And this is Astrology for Wellness.
Right.
Which has very simple tips and techniques for all the signs for stress, really. It's basically, I think,
do you have your cooking
all
book
been going
there?
through.
Say again?
Your cooking book?
Oh, I don't have it here. Next time we'll flash that one.
Yeah, we actually have our own shelf at every Barnes & Noble. I don't know if they're open yet, but...
Virgo rules food, Jeff.
Yes. And small animals.
Oh, there's Joyce is holding up.
Thanks, Joyce.
Our cookbook is called Signs and Seasons, and it goes through all the seasons and 96 great recipes for every sign and to eat now. During the season, whatever the Virgo season is.
Yeah, because as you well know, and Dana knows since she's moving to France, the best cooks are the ones who use seasonal ingredients. So they only use the freshest stuff. And everybody, I see a lot of people have their psychic hats on, which is very nice. I see that, Jacqueline.
I see George.
And Mark has the best one.
I have a headband.
She does. Yeah, you don't need it. You have a giant crown chakra. Mauricio has his. We've had the best time.
Yeah, so we're going to do this next Monday.
Is it next Monday? It's
next Monday. Yes. We'll be back. Good. Well, thank you all. Thank you all for asking your questions. Thank you for being open to receive. Monty and Amy, I'm grateful to be doing this together with you. This is fun.
It is
so much fun. And if there's anything that you want, any topics you'd like us to talk about, give us some ideas for future shows.
Yeah. It's a great idea.
Nice to see everybody. And,
great to see you. Bye,
safe.
everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Let's hang loose, Will. That's a surfer thing, right?
Yes. Hang 10.
Hang 10.
Chuck it.